What is up, my doggies? We're here. We watched even more episodes of JoJo Part 4.
So much JoJo. We've seen so many episodes now.
Yeah, we went from... This was episodes 13 through... No, yeah, 13?
Through 16.
Yeah. 13 through 16.
That's how numbers work.
We saw 4 episodes this time, just like how last time we also saw four episodes. And the time before that, also 4 episodes.
Yeah. Almost like that's how we schedule it.
So anyway, episode 13. That was a fun episode. It starts off and we hear the Morio radio again.
Yep, I do enjoy that. Oh, is this... Now, I should say, once again, I have lost my notes. I need to get a better app for this.
His notes are gone, folks.
Yeah, but is this the part about just some random lonely guy who... There was like a little bit that they showed and then it kind of cut out partway through him explaining the guy's situation?
I'm trying to remember what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Yes.
I love that because it actually got me slightly intrigued as to this guy's circumstance, and I was a little disappointed when they cut out early.
They did kind of start like a narrative for this guy, which was funny.
And I think I'm jumping ahead a bit here, but they bring it up again.
A little bit.
Okay. They bring up the story of this guy again later in the episode, just with like some people passing by, like walking down the street. You overhear them talking, and I didn't notice at first that they were talking about the guy from the radio show, but I realized after a minute, and I'm like, oh my god, that's such a cool little detail.
We love when the world feels real. So anyway, this one has the radio start off, but then, right after that, we see Joseph again.
Mm-hmm.
And I, get really excited to hear my notes about Joseph. Because what a fun character that they just have around. And then we see that they have the bow and arrow. And that they explain the guy that had Red Hot Chili Pepper, that he was robbing people. And they caught him. Caught him in jail.
Yes, and I'm remembering everything now. This was the Invisible Baby episode, wasn't it?
We're getting there.
Okay.
So we see Joseph, and he's bonding a little bit with Josuke, but it's still really awkward. And then they're arguing a little bit, kind of bickering a tidbit, and then Joseph kind of disappears. You remember that?
He gets on the bus, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets on the bus.
He accidentally gets on the wrong bus. It was a long-distance bus, and Josuke had to run down to stop the bus.
Yeah, and then that's when, that's when this invisible baby comes up.
Yeah, they get off the bus, and they're in the middle of... Well, they're on next to the road, kind of outside the city, and there's... What was it first? The crying of the baby or something?
The baby was tugging on Joseph's pant leg.
Right.
And Josuke, thinks he's making this up. Throughout the episode, Josuke keeps thinking that Joseph is, spacing out and just being a weird old man.
Which, I mean, sure, he does that. And sure, it's not completely... unjustified to assume that, but at a certain point, when throughout the day he progressively realizes one by one that the things that Joseph's been saying are actually real, at some point you'd think he'd stop doubting him.
Maybe, but he's also just in a bad mood with Joseph anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. So this baby is revealing itself, and I just wrote down that Joseph keeps going Josuke-kun, and I'm like, that's an old man. And then I wrote, that's his son. That's his son. There's so many family members.
Well, yeah.
And then there's a baby now.
Things have gotten pretty complicated.
That's his baby now.
Yeah, not like that baby has a family. Which,
They stole that baby, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they kind of did. But it was left in the middle of the street. I mean, it is invisible.
It is a girl baby, is the thing.
Okay.
They stole this baby.
Yes,
is what is the point that I want to get across.
But to be fair, very few people could handle an invisible baby, and I feel like they're pretty well equipped to handle the situation.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those things, once again, where the like stand users meet stand users.
Fortunate
because the baby has a stand. We didn't get there. The baby is invisible because that's its stand, is that it can make things invisible,
including itself. And all the things around it.
What a goofy baby.
Yep.
And then Joseph goes to the baby store. That was funny.
Yeah. I could tell they were going to lead up to the joke of like, I don't understand how yen works.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And, well, the thing is, Joseph's also like super, super rich. So he's probably like, I don't know. Just give me the baby stuff.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
To be fair, Josuke does get mad about that, but he could definitely pay him back for it.
Yeah, he could. But also, how did he spend like over $1,000 on baby supplies?
Yeah, it is kind of ridiculous that there's that much.
I could see like a couple hundred, maybe like 400. But I guess he just bought so much baby stuff.
Well,
that baby's gonna grow up to be someone special,
Yeah, that baby got lucky in that circumstance.
Yeah. Oh, and then that baby's gonna grow up, and like that could have been Josuke's life.
Just having. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, what do you think he? Well.
But also, this baby has, like, a really cool stand right from the get-go, also.
Yes.
So this baby's probably going to grow up to be, like, the coolest person ever.
It is pretty cool. That is a pretty cool baby.
Yeah. But the baby doesn't do much this episode other than get herself and everyone around her into trouble.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what babies do. So... yeah, she could turn other things invisible, and then that's a problem.
Oh, I just had a thought. Well, I don't like babies.
Yeah. Babies are kind of weird.
This baby is invisible.
Yeah.
Which takes away one of the things that I don't like about babies.
Okay.
So.
Still screams a lot, though.
Yeah. But it can also turn other things invisible.
That's true.
And it'd be pretty... I know Joseph understandably... Well, this is... Is this skipping ahead at all? When he turns the hands invisible? No, that's pretty early on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
That's right about here.
Yeah. Joseph... It's understandable that Joseph would be worried when his hands go invisible, but... I think that's really cool. I think it would be pretty cool to just suddenly have, like, yo, guys, hands.
If you train this baby correctly, it's a very powerful force to have.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it turns out that this baby turns things invisible because of stress. Also, let's take a step back and talk about how Joseph decides to put makeup on this baby, and then gives her like the glasses and the I don't know, there's makeup.
On the one hand, I refuse to accept that they think that's cute. On the other hand, it is still better looking than regular babies.
It's just goofy. It's just funny that this baby's got like sunglasses. It's funny. So the baby falls into a lake.
Yeah, that does happen. Because some guy sees really messed up stroller, which he just thinks is trash, but the way the parts of the stroller were invisible, that some parts weren't, had it looking like most of it was floating in the air. You'd think that'd be a little bit more concerning to a passerby.
I'd be like, well, I wouldn't assume it's junk then. I would assume that it's like some weird like street art.
That would make sense, yeah.
But this guy's just like, might as well throw my cigarette onto
Yeah,
it.
that's ridiculous. Like, barely knows nothing about what's going on here. And after just a really base assumption, chucks a lit cigarette butt at the thing.
And Joseph's like, I got it.
Yeah.
And
Joseph
he catches it, yeah.
And accidentally bumps the stroller down a hill. And Josuke gets all mad and then it's like, don't screw everything up, you dumb old man. And then I'm like, Josuke, I know you've got your whole complicated situation going on here, but he's just trying to help.
Yeah, but Joseph's like, doesn't really know how to explain that. And then he just feels bad and he's like, better go help.
So
again.
they go down to get the baby and it fell into the lake.
Yeah, it fell in the lake.
And they're all really scared because it's like, how do you find a baby in a lake that's invisible?
Yeah, because now everything's invisible. Because it's a lake.
Yeah, so it was pretty concerning. And wow, I got so scared when Joseph did what he did next.
I wrote, Joseph, was that really necessary? And then I wrote, but also I guess he would do that. And then I wrote that he says, I wanted to look cool. I'm like, that's Joseph.
That so is something he would do, but it's so concerning. You're a frail old man, Joseph. Don't.
And his only immediate thought was, better kill myself.
Yeah, he did. He did talk as if he wasn't sure if he was about to die.
Yeah, he like he didn't think maybe there's another way. He immediately thought like, okay, this is probably it. At least I'll look cool.
So he cuts himself with the knife and the blood fills the water so they can see where the baby is, which was a cool solution, but
and I guess it's just fun to see that it's like, even though he's this old, he's still kind of pulling his same old tricks. He's got the same kind of mentality. But he's okay.
Yep. He's fine. And Josuke did think that was pretty nice of him to do.
Josuke was like, well, I guess that's cool at least.
Anyway, they get the baby and it's all good.
What a fun episode. What did you feel about that one?
Definitely my favorite part of that episode was the radio story.
That's funny.
I just love that little detail of adding to the world, making it feel so much more real.
Well, I'm glad you liked that. My favorite part was that Joseph was there, because that's my favorite character.
He is the best.
It's so fun. He's there, and then he's in part 3, and then he's in part 2. He's just all over the place. Nodding my head.
Yep.
I guess we could move on to episode 14 then.
Is this the introduction of the new character?
Koichi runs into Hazamada, and who's now kind of okay, I guess. Like, no real hard feelings.
Yeah, that seems a bit out of place.
But
he was a pretty bitter kid before.
But also, like, it seems like that's, like, the consistent theme throughout this. Like, they'd meet all of these, like, and not all of them, but a lot of these, like, villain of the week characters end up being, like, kind of allies, like...
Yeah.
Acquaintances of sorts.
And subservient to Koichi, which is... Why?
Yeah. Koichi's gonna have an army by the end. But anyway, they both like this comic, Pink Dark Boy.
Of course, they would name it something like that.
They both happen to really enjoy it. They get really excited talking about it. And they find out that the artist and writer of the series, Rohan Kishibe, lives in Morio.
Of course.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? So they go to visit him and get some autographs.
As you do.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to a dude's house and just be like, please sign this.
Yeah, just in the middle of the day, like.
Don't you have school?
And they, Koichi goes to ring the doorbell, and it looks like Rohan's almost about to kill him.
Yeah, very sketchy dude right out the gate.
Yeah, immediately he's suspicious.
Also, they're emphasizing just something dark about being at his house, just in general. They're like, this is not a good place to be, guys.
And then he looks scary, but then he immediately changes to being kind of nice and positive when they mention that they're fans.
Yes, he does do a quick turnabout and is welcoming to them and is willing to give them the autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And also offers them a tour of his studio.
Yeah. That's fun.
And the two of them are really excited. They're like, this is the coolest day of my life.
Yeah, they really are stoked. And it's really funny because they're only like a couple years younger than him, but they're like, because you have the two characters like, first of all, they're like immensely smaller than him.
Yeah.
And then also they're like clearly like school children, and then he's like this guy who has like this entire house, but he's only 20. And so it's just funny.
It is funny. Technically, not much difference between them, but they're just so far extreme in that it seems a bigger gap than it really is.
It mostly just makes the high school kids look like they're like 10. But anyway, they have some fun, and then they see him draw, and he's really good at drawing. And he could do it really fast. Do they see him draw? Maybe not. But he talks about it. He talks about how he can draw really fast. That's it.
Yeah, and he also talks about how he has to base everything off of real life. He has to experience things.
He starts explaining how he researches like literally everything, and that quickly turns into a very terrifying event.
What he does next, I will never forgive. I will never forget.
So he finds this really cool spider, right? And he's like, I gotta study this spider so that I can know how it like moves and stuff.
I regret losing my notes because I would have liked to show you. I had about a wall of writing. I had a full page of it, of just nope. Why would you lick a spider?
Chomp chomp, tasty snack.
Why? I didn't need to see that.
He has to know. What if he has to like emphasize it in his drawing? What if somebody else accidentally eats a spider in the latest chapter?
I just have to say congratulations to Koichi and Koichi's fans. No longer my least favorite character.
Oh no. This will be good.
I cannot forgive this transgression. So
anyway, he's looking up this spider. It's pretty relatable. It's pretty normal. And then
he stabs it and licks it.
Hazamada starts puking. I don't know why, but Rohan wants to sketch it because he's like, that's a pretty interesting expression that I don't get to practice very often.
But Hazamada is like, let me try to hold it, I guess. And he messes it up, and it's fake now, so not going to sketch it.
And Koichi... Rohan leaves. I forget why. He was going to get them something or something.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but that's when they see the just finished...
Yeah, Koichi's like, I got a bad feeling we should go. And Hazamada's like, wait a second.
Check that out on
Gotta
the desk.
peek something first. Yeah, it's his, he just finished the next chapter. Oops. of the manga that's coming out next week, and they got a sneak preview.
Yep.
They got to do it.
That was a mistake.
Mm. Would you care to explain why?
So, as one would expect, this guy is in fact a stand user.
Funny. It'd be funny if he wasn't.
Yeah, that would be funny. But his stand is actually based around seeing his what's the word, transcripts. His
they use, I think, manuscript.
Manuscript.
I wouldn't have used that. I don't know if that's a common. It's just seeing his like new art, like unpublished.
Unpublished. Just finished raw material, I guess.
Yeah, because I think if he I don't think it has to necessarily be his newest chapters. Mm-hmm. Just I think it's I don't know exactly how it works, but I think it's supposed to be just new unpublished work.
Well, anyway, so once they see that, he turns them into books, and he can read their life story.
Mm-hmm. Heaven's Door.
Heaven's Door, yes, and it is quite terrifying.
Yeah, it's kind of a spooky looking stand.
Yeah, because their faces peel open into pages, and their hands and fingers and everything just become paper, and it's terrifying to watch. I can't imagine how terrifying it is to experience. And this creepy dude is just reading your life story, turning the pages of your face.
The book that he turns them into is just a giant book of their entire life story, and so he immediately starts reading Koichi's story, himself as a book, and he gets really. At first, it's kind of boring, but then he realizes he's got a stand. And then Rowan's
there's a bunch of other people with stands, and there's so much stuff going on, and holy cow, these last few pages are so eventful.
Yeah, he starts getting really, really excited, mostly because he's like, what a cool story.
How much of this is just author self-indulgence of being like, hey guys, isn't JoJo awesome?
So Rohan is just Araki's self-insert.
Of course he is.
And Araki really loves Rohan, a lot, way too much, and it's really funny. And he's always drawing him and talking about him. He's like, that's my character, guys. Don't you guys love him? And then some people are like, yeah, and then some people are like,
it does seem. I mean, to be fair, I think at a certain point you earn a little bit of bragging. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he has hit that at this point. But it's a bit much.
I think it's just about right. And then, Rohan has the whole, he's got a lot of, spin-off series stuff. But, anyway, let's get back. Where were we?
he sees all this stuff about stand users and the story, and
he also checks, Hazamada's story.
Oh, yeah.
And just destroys him.
Yeah. He says so many terrible things about him, and it's all true. It's everything that's written in there about this guy.
And then also I want to say that, I don't know where, I think I wrote this down somewhere. But, yeah, Rohan reads Koichi's story, and he says, I'm sure readers will like your personality. And I'm like, you're wrong.
You're just so wrong. And he says that he's not interested in anyone else's story. He just wants to read Koichi's story now. And that includes later Okuyasu and Josuke. And I'm like, no. Mm-mm. Don't you dare say Koichi is the more interesting character.
Mm-mm. That makes me so sad. Seriously, though, Koichi is gaining this army of people that like him for some reason.
It's so weird. Why do all the characters think Koichi is the best?
So then we find out that Rohan can write inside the books, and that the stand is kind of very, very powerful.
Yeah, he can change details about people's existence.
Mm-hmm.
So that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
He can mess with your memories. He can do... I don't know how far he can go with it, but it seems like he can do quite a lot.
Seems like he could do pretty much anything. But what's holding him back is just his personality and not being interested in really, like, actually, like, killing people off. He's just more interested in his agenda of, like, researching and having a good time drawing.
And it also benefits them that he doesn't want to change too many details because that makes it less real to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to experience something real.
So if he wanted them dead, he could probably, it wouldn't be too rough.
Yeah, he could probably just write in, "I die when I blink."
Yeah. But he's not feeling it, so they're okay for now.
Yeah, but he does get rid of their memory of the experience of seeing Heaven's Door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
He tore out some pages, and now Koichi's lost weight.
Yeah. So the first thing he does is make it so that Koichi can't fight back. And then Koichi's like, uh-oh, that's bad. And then he writes in there, that Koichi forgets about what's happening every time he leaves the house. And then so he notices that he's lost weight, but he can't remember why. And then he's like, whatever.
Yeah, well, when he first sees he's lost weight, but he can't remember why, he does, and some credit to him here, he does get, even without being able to remember how it happened, that something is wrong here, and it's probably another stand user's fault. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, credit to him. I'm glad he didn't just immediately shrug it off. But when he did go to call Josuke to tell him something was up, I guess somehow... Did he have written in there something about, like, also not being able to tell anyone anything? Or something?
Yes, but also he was also just forgetting.
Yeah, well, he seemed to be... He had his suspicions, and then it just went away. Like, he forgot why he was suspicious. So, yeah, he has... no way of getting any sort of help.
He's stuck in a very sticky situation.
Yeah.
But lucky for him, his friends are very snoopy.
Mm-hmm. So when he goes back to the house, kind of against his own will, he's sort of just subconsciously is like, I need to go back there. So he does, and he ends up seeing Rohan working, and slowly pieces back together what happened and remembers everything. And he's terrified. And just then, Josuke and Okuyasu had seen him go into the house, and were like, "What's up with this?" So they were going to go investigate. And Koichi was going to go outside and tell them to help him. But as soon as he opens the door, he's forgotten everything. And he's like, "Hey guys, it's all fine. I'm good."
Yeah, he's fine. But wait, no he's not.
What was the giveaway here?
Rohan says it must have been that Koichi had a cut on his hand.
Right.
Although that isn't confirmed, we can probably assume that to be the case. But he does credit Okuyasu with being the one who noticed it. And I have a feeling that wasn't
that doesn't seem right.
But
anyway, Josuke and Okuyasu do realize that something's up, so they break into the house.
And Okuyasu breaks in like directly into the room and
through the window.
And this is bad because now he's seen the art too.
And he also falls into paper. And so he cannot do anything. Also, Rohan writes in his pages.
Okay, wait, this is also, by the way, this is into episode 15 now.
Oh, have we gone into the next episode?
It's a two-parter.
Yes.
And this is where part 2 starts.
So, episode 15. The showdown to save Koichi. So they get in.
Yeah.
And Okuyasu, he tries, he does his best, but he's taken down pretty quickly.
Now, what they present here is that Rohan pretty much knows what everybody's thinking because he knows their characters through reading what Koichi had in his book of himself, and through reading that, by being the author that he is, Rohan is able to understand all the possible outcomes and what their personality types would consider to be the optimal outcome. And he's using that to understand what he should be doing.
Which seems just kind of self-indulgent from...
Yeah, but it's also, like, funny that, like, I mean, they're making him to be, like, this amazing, like, wonderful, wildly applauded, everybody loves him manga artist, but also he's, like, the biggest weirdo out of, like, the entire group of people there, which is saying a lot. And he's also, like, not very social and kind of grumpy and mean.
Yeah. And a bit of a creep.
And, yeah, definitely creepy.
And someone who has committed the greatest, most terrible transgression one could possibly commit.
People eat spiders.
I know. And it's wrong, and they should not exist.
Okay, well, anyway... I think the biggest problem here is that he likes Koichi the best.
That is an issue. That is very much so an issue. You've got some A material here. Okuyasu.
I don't know if I should I don't want to spoil too much, but I will say that Rohan ends up very much not liking Okuyasu and very, 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 very much not liking Josuke. And I know the disappointment, but you can see. I mean, you can see where this would go with Josuke, because Josuke, like, it turns out just, like, doesn't.
Can I just rant a second here? Koichi was a typical kid who, in the last few weeks, ran into some pretty interesting stuff. Okuyasu.
He shouldn't even have a stand. It's like weird that he has one now.
Okuyasu. Yeah. He grew up with an abusive family and struggling because of his own inabilities with his intelligence, and dependent on a somewhat abusive brother in a very complicated situation. Suddenly, his whole situation is complicated further by his father becoming a servant of Dio, and it's made even worse when Dio is killed and his father turns into that weird thing, and then him and his brother get the bow, and then they start, like, turning people in the stands and killing people, and he knows it's wrong, and it's such a complicated situation because he follows his brother and he depends on his brother, but it's all such a bad thing that he's gotten himself into. And finally, he gets out of it in a very bittersweet way when he has his showdown with Josuke and Koichi at the house, and he loses his brother in a very, very dramatic way. And it was, I mean, partially traumatizing to lose his brother, but also he understands that his brother had it coming. And it's so much better. Such a better life story. And he experienced all the interesting, amazing stuff that Koichi did for the most part in these past few weeks. Or however long it's been.
And he met Tonio.
Yeah, he did. Koichi wasn't even there for the best part.
Can I just say, I'm calling it right now. This is an Okuyasu fan club blog. Not a video, a blog. And this, from now on, we only stand Okuyasu. Nobody cares about Koichi anymore, guys. Koichi's over. Okay? It's Okuyasu now. He's the cool one.
Why would you pick Koichi's story over Okuyasu's. Honestly.
This is Rohan's only flaw.
Rohan is failing as an author, as a story writer. If he genuinely thinks that Koichi's story is better than Okuyasu's. It's just messed up.
Okuyasu is basically character number 1 right now.
Yes, Okuyasu's
from
the
now
best.
on, we cheer when he shows up.
Well,
Step
anyway,
aside, Joseph. Anyway, yeah.
back to the plot.
What were we doing? So
Okuyasu's down, sadly.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
his sacrifice was not in vain because now Josuke knows what the stand is.
See? Beautiful. Teamwork.
Yes. And Josuke's behind the door, and he's trying to think of what to do because he knows what the stand is now, but how does he deal with it?
Mm-hmm. And Rohan tells them exactly how he could deal with it.
Run away.
Mm-hmm. But now he can't because Rohan wrote inside of Okuyasu, he wrote that
if Josuke gets any help, then Okuyasu will kill himself.
Yeah.
Which, oh no.
Yeah, oh no. And then he, like, Okuyasu's like, don't worry, there's no way I would kill myself like that.
And then he immediately pulls out a lighter and starts lighting himself on fire.
And now he's on fire.
And he's made of paper now, so it's not good.
I mean, either way, not good, but especially not good. And so Josuke's like, well, I guess I have to just go in there and, like...
And he has the most basic solution to the issue. Run in there with his eyes closed.
Mm-hmm. And Rohan's like, we gotta fix this.
So he throws razor blades
at him. Yeah, he just starts throwing stuff at him.
But,
I think they're pen nibs.
Oh, it looked like razor blades. Are you sure? It could have been like a...
It could have been X-Acto blades.
Yeah.
That's true. I just know that the nibs are his theme.
Okay.
So...
Well, anyway, it does not phase Josuke. He keeps,
I have a lot of X-Acto blades.
Josuke keeps going. And
he's used to it by now.
Yeah. And he's trying to get to the guy. But Rohan's like, I know a way to break you and get you to open your eyes. The one way you can always break Josuke's concentration. I'll diss his hair.
And that he does.
That was a mistake.
Oh no. That's the last mistake you'll ever make. This makes Josuke mad.
Very, very mad.
And he does open his eyes.
But he doesn't succumb to the stand because he has been blinded by rage.
He doesn't. It's implied that he's just like so angry that he like doesn't care, like about the art. Mm-hmm. And like
basically
also,
he's not even taking in the fact that he's looking at it.
Yeah, and that he just like I think I don't know if they explain this later, but I think it's supposed to be like you have to like see the art and then be like amazed by it or like in awe or something like that, and then like because of this, not so much that Josuke like almost kills Rohan, but Rohan gets like angry, like bitter towards Josuke because he like doesn't appreciate his art and like didn't like it wasn't in awe the moment he saw it like everyone else. But he was angry because his hair. But also he doesn't know about manga. He wasn't like a fan.
Yeah, he did say
that was funny
that
too.
Like, I don't really know manga.
I don't
That's
know
not
what
my
that
thing.
is. Manga, who's that? What
He's
else
into
is there?
video games.
Yeah, he does like video games. He's pretty good at it too.
Yeah.
Cause he practices. I bet a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
Respectable.
Anyway.
So that's when we get something I've been waiting for since episode 1.
Rohan's like, why is he so mad? Surely there must be a reason.
And I do appreciate that the reason he underestimated the rage was that Koichi underestimated the rage.
Yeah. But Koichi was the one who knew the story. He tells us the tale.
Yes.
Do you recall this tale?
So, as has been mentioned before, in his youth, Josuke suddenly became very ill, and he was not okay. He needed to get to the hospital. So his mom started driving him to the hospital, but they were in the middle of a blizzard, and the car gets stuck in the snow, and she's really concerned. But then a guy shows up and starts pushing the car out of the snow, and he has the same hair, and he helps get them to the hospital. And so Josuke doesn't have the best memory of the guy, but he remembers his hair.
Josuke was 4.
Mm-hmm. And very sick, so it's understandable that he wouldn't understand.
He was 4 and dying.
Yeah. But he remembers the guy's hairdo, so he keeps the hair just like it to show his respect to the guy who saved his life. Mm-hmm. And he takes it personal when people diss his hair because it's like they're dissing the guy that saved him.
And he also tries to live his life in a way that is helpful to the underdogs and is polite and
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's we get to know a little bit more defining moment of his character. So we learn the story, and that's how the episode ends. And then, as Rohan is dying, he tries desperately to write it down so he can use it later as inspiration or something.
But that's when Josuke sees him and starts beating him up again.
Yeah, and then he almost dies. And then the last thing we see is he has to go on hiatus from the manga.
Really backfired.
Yeah. That was a bad plan. But I don't know. I think he's got a very specific, a very interesting character, I think. Mm-hmm. And I find it very amusing. I think it's goofy.
Now, was it this episode or the next episode that started the new opening?
Oh yeah, the new opening started the episode. Yes, this episode.
Yeah, I thought so because I felt like I'd seen it twice.
Yes, episode 15. This is the first time they have the new opening.
What's your take on the new opening?
I don't really like it because the song I think isn't that fun or interesting or catchy. And then the dark tone of it, is really, what I like about JoJo is, the bright colors and the, very pop atmosphere. And this is just not that.
I completely agree.
So I'm this is not the vibes I want with JoJo.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it either.
Yeah, but, fortunately, we've got another one coming a little later, so that's fine.
Yeah.
For now, we're just gonna have to,
Not all of them can be winners.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this is the tone that they're going for at the moment, but, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's fine, yeah, that's good. Anything else you wanted to say about the, do you have anything that you saw in it that you thought was interesting or anything?
The other guy from the beginning of this whole ordeal. What was his name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
The guy that went in with
Hazamada?
Koichi. Yes. What happened to him? I feel like he just sort of kind of disappeared from this plot line.
Yeah. He just went home, I guess. Because Rohan didn't want to keep using him because he was boring.
Yeah.
And gross.
That's fair.
He just went home. I don't know. And then in the intro, we kind of see some new faces, but I'm sure we'll find out what that's about. So then we have episode 16. My apologies. No, please. I'll have to... One sec. Okay.
Episode 16.
Episode 16. Jotaro goes hunting with Josuke.
Yes, this. I had actually seen a clip of this, I think before I ever saw anything JoJo.
Ooh.
And I was very confused. I don't think I really registered the fact that they were fighting a rat. I think it was just too far-fetched for me to believe back then.
Well, it's funny how you've come on such a long journey to the point where you can understand why they were hunting a rat.
Yeah. So this episode, a lot of fun stuff going on here. We get more Jotaro, which I do appreciate how they really use him sparingly in this part. They really, I think that it really makes it so that he's a lot more enjoyable when he does show up, because I don't feel like he doesn't overstay his welcome in anything. He just gets in a good amount, and then
they understand what his role is best for, and they only use him when he is needed in that story.
Yes.
So right now he's needed because they have to go hunt this rat who has a stand. This rat has a stand.
Because it turns out it was the guitarist guy, right? That was
Chili Peppers user.
Yes. He had, it turns out, shot a couple rats with the bow and arrow. Because he's kind of messed up.
And one of them was, I guess, powerful enough. Or not one of them, but...
Rats have stands now.
There are a couple rats, and they're powerful enough to do stands, and they're smart. So I don't have notes for this episode because I am a fool. However, I do have the episode synopsis online right here, and so I'm just going to read parts and bits from that.
And I remember it pretty well because it was a really fun one for me.
So it says Jotaro demonstrates to Josuke how to shoot bearings.
Yes. Boop. They have little bearings that they just sort of flick with their stand, and it shoots out pretty strong.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And to increase their attack range, Josuke is not as precise as Jotaro and is very nervous.
Yeah, he says puts a lot of pressure on him. And I'm sad that I don't have my notes, because I remember in my notes taking a picture of, at one point when he says like, oh, so much pressure, he makes a funny face, and his stand also makes the same funny face.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I want that. And then, so Jotaro's like, you gotta hit them the first try, or they'll run away and they'll never trust you to come back anywhere near you again.
So it's a pretty high stakes scenario. So they have to find the rats first.
They head to an irrigation canal, where the rat was shot at. And they investigate.
And they find the rat cube. Just a big old cube of flesh where rats have been fused together in a very grotesque way.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. They definitely emphasize that it's very gross.
Yep. And I was so concerned because for a moment when Jotaro was poking at it with a stick, he genuinely looked like he was going to lick it, and I was so scared.
You can't trust them anymore. You never know what they're gonna lick.
They've traumatized me. I don't trust them at all.
Now there's definitely a rat nest around here. And so
it's in a drainage pipe or whatever that goes all the way to a farm.
There's a farm.
And unfortunately, they make the conclusion that it's probably too late for the farmers.
Right.
Because this rat is seriously dangerous.
This is a danger rat.
But they also set up a camera in front of the pipe entrance in case it shows up over there. But then they go to the farm to investigate.
Yeah, investigating the farm. And then Josuke goes to the kitchen.
And Jotaro goes somewhere else. They split up.
I think, yeah. Does he go... Was
to
there
like
stairs
some
or...
back room.
No, back room. Yeah.
And
so Josuke's like, I gotta do this right. I gotta get this rat good.
Well, first he finds the rat when he sees the fridge is open.
Yeah, right.
And the rat's going through the fridge, and he creaks open the door of the fridge, and well, Josuke found the farmers.
They're jelly.
Yeah.
You do a little shrug. They're jelly.
They've been cubed.
Hashtag jelly cubed.
And they're alive still.
Oh, yeah.
They're in agony, but they're alive, which does mean that Josuke can save them with his stand.
So...
But first you gotta take care of the rat.
There's darts that can melt metal. It says that
the rat's stand shoots some sort of like poison dart thing that melts whatever it touches.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous. And Josuke was smart enough to block the dart from hitting him with a pan.
Yeah, he was really like when he didn't let the pressure get to him to make him like nervous. He was just like very
aware of the high stakes.
Yeah, it worked. It worked sort of in his favor. It made him more prepared and aware of his surroundings, and so
he played it cautious. He blocked the shot, and he took his shot, and he got it.
He got it. Good job, Josuke. That was pretty cool.
Now here's something. Josuke goes to get Jotaro and say like, "Hey, I got the rat," and then that's when Jotaro reveals that there's clearly a second rat around because he's been shot. And Josuke quickly heals him with his stand, but I realized that means these rats have the same stand.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So the rat, I mean, I guess just since, I don't know, maybe the rats are all just one rat.
Maybe, I mean, it seems like stands manifest somewhat based on the personality of the user.
Yeah.
Like how, what's his name, the chef? His stand was very specifically for food.
Pearl Jam.
Yes. So, rats... There's
like jelly.
There's not going to be a lot of variety in rats.
Yeah, especially since they're like rats that were like in the same sort of colony.
Yeah, so it wouldn't make sense, I guess, for them to manifest the same stand. And we don't know for certain that it's exactly the same. It does basically the same thing, but maybe they were slightly different.
Yeah, potentially. I guess that's true. We don't know for sure.
But anyway, now they gotta handle this second rat.
Yeah.
And I would like to assume that they saved the farm family, but they don't say it. They don't show it.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
We got wet cat back in town.
Yeah, she just kind of rubbed the rain all over my leg.
Reoccurring guest, Flicker.
Okay. So, Yeah, I would hope that he saved that family, but we don't know. They could still be in the fridge, for all we know.
There's a rat. There's the shootout ear.
Yes, there's...
Ignore, there's the traps.
It is the smarter rat.
Clever rat.
And it is...
Learned about the bearings.
It is
Making
not
it
gonna...
more difficult to shoot.
Not gonna give them a chance. But Jotaro was prepared for this.
Yeah.
He has bullets.
Yeah.
He has rifle rounds.
He does.
And he has 4 specifically.
Yeah, he gives 2 to Josuke.
He was being a bit rudely blunt, but I mean that's pretty in character. He was kind of like, you can't really handle this, Josuke. This is probably something I should do. But anyway,
I'm trying to.
Yeah, they go to get the rat, and they kind of walk into a bit of a valley of sorts.
Yes.
And the rat kind of pins them down behind a rock, and it's like shooting at them. It's somewhere. They don't see where it is, but it's somewhere up the hill, and it sees them, and it can kill them very quickly, very easily. So they got to be very careful.
They gotta be careful, and they gotta be
Smart.
accurate and fast acting. Okay. Josuke is getting hit by a dart. But Star Platinum.
Right, so he uses... Jotaro uses the world, and he quickly tears out the dart and everything, all the cells that it came in contact with, all of it, before it could spread and melt anything. Because Josuke can heal other people, but he cannot heal himself. So it would be very problematic if he didn't get that out immediately.
It'd be pretty bad for the series if Josuke just died.
Yeah.
Especially if it was by rat.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? All the foes defeated by him, and then you find out he was killed by rat. But yeah, Star Platinum's really cool, and I'm really glad we get to see him again.
Yes, and this is when they devise the strategy of giving all the bullets to Josuke and using Jotaro as bait to draw out the rat and have Josuke find it and shoot it. And the reason they do this is because Jotaro realized what I just said, that Jotaro could be healed if he takes any amount of damage, so long as he doesn't die. But no amount of damage can be healed on Josuke, so Josuke needs to be safe, and so he's the one that needs to take the shot. And so it's a high stakes, high pressure again, but Jotaro goes out to draw the rat's attention, and it's fired to draw it out. And Josuke tries to see it, but the first few times it keeps like moving after shooting, and it's hard to track down. And meanwhile, Jotaro is at first dodging the shots pretty well, but I think it starts to go downhill when the rat, and holy cow is this rat smart, that it planned...
Yeah, I love this. I love that this rat is like so smart and adaptive.
It shot, and it knew Jotaro would dodge, and it aimed it so it would bounce, it would ricochet off of the rock behind him, and hit him in the back. And it does, and it's insane.
And we see this in part 3, that animals that have stands are like, they have the potential of being very, very smart. And I don't know, that's fun.
Yes.
I like that.
So Jotaro's taking damage, but he keeps on keeping on. And he eventually, Josei does spot it, and he takes a shot. I believe his first shot hits the rock that the rat is behind. And at first they're thinking like he misses chance. The rat isn't like gonna give him another opening. But then I believe Josuke steps out of cover and leaves himself open. And the rat takes the bait and jumps out to shoot Josuke. And in that moment, Josuke shoots at the rat first and kills it. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, and then Jotaro is like, good job.
Well, he's sort of like... he seems slightly annoyed, and like he's like he says good job and all that, but he's kind of nonchalant about this whole situation, despite the fact that half his body is melted at this point.
A lot just happened. A lot just went down, and
he got shot a lot. He was like half melted. And
he's got to stay in character, though.
All I'm saying is,
it's all he's got left is his character.
You think he'd show some amount of pain at that point?
His body is dying away, and his screen time is next to none. All he has left is his character. He can't break it.
Oh well. So that's that episode. They concluded.
What a fun little adventure.
Yes. But
also a bizarre one.
Yep. And that's just how this show goes.
So, recap. How do you feel about these 4 episodes?
Well, I was wrong about them immediately going into the big plot line of the new main villain. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
But we are getting more hints about it, which
I
don't.
They have alluded to it once or twice.
Yeah, very subtly though.
Which I do appreciate the build up. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I do feel like this is gonna have a good payoff.
Yeah, because it's like that the villain is in town with them and is has been operating this entire time, and they just haven't like picked up on it yet.
Yeah, so and that's cool. I do, and that's some bit of a realism for you there. Of course, they're not going to be aware of everything going around them at the same time. They can't possibly be. So it is interesting that we've been aware all along that there is something else going on here, something quite possibly far beyond everything they've dealt with so far, and they just have no idea.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun and cool. But anyway, we've gotten these little stories. Although the Rohan one was a 2-parter, which is fun, just like Yukako. She had the 2-parter also. And
I did, as much as he bothers me, I did enjoy that whole that whole storyline, that sort of little arc there.
I think his stand is very fun to explore.
Yes.
You can see like how it could be used to be either like very potentially terrible or like a very strong ally.
Now here's a question. Yeah. What if he wrote in there something along the lines of, is like has superhuman strength or is immortal?
I'm trying to remember if there's something like that later.
Well,
He does. Well, I'm not gonna spoil
Yeah.
anything too much, but I will say that he does do things along those lines, and it seems to pretty much work out. It's more of just like one that like his personality just doesn't like.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that.
He just doesn't feel like it, and then two, like we'll be meeting people with stands that like might be able to negate some of his effects.
All right.
Because that's how stands end up being.
Mm-hmm.
Is they end up having like some sort of convenient twist that allows them to like slip under another stand.
Which is, that combined with the fact that stand users draw each other together, really means that they can't fully abuse their powers because it's going to catch up with them at some point.
Yeah, and that's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fun. I'm happy that this cast of characters just keeps growing and growing.
Unfortunately, that means Koichi's army is growing.
At least I don't think the baby likes him yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully the baby will steer clear. The baby seems to have chosen Joseph. The baby was the only woke one the entire time. You know what? Step aside on Kuyasu. This baby is who
the baby
we're
knows
rooting
what's
for
up.
this baby who's gonna grow up to be the most powerful character in JoJo.
Is it spoiler to ask if it comes up in any of the other parts?
The baby?
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen past part 5, right?
Well, I know what happens. And I will say that the baby isn't in the rest of the parts to my knowledge. Although I think a lot of people have mentioned that, like, wouldn't it be cool if the baby shows up in, like, JoJo Part 12 or something? Because that's what kind of happens. Although Part 7 and 8 are, like, different universe kind of stories. But if they decide to go back, the baby would be a perfect character to follow. Because that baby's kind of a JoJo, I guess. Because, like, if Joseph decides to like name it something and raise it, I mean he's like really old now, but he could get someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
maybe not. Like maybe Joseph raises this baby to be like 10, and then like after that the baby just like has this fortune to herself. Well, not a baby anymore, just a 10-year-old. That's how, dude. This is Black Butler. So this baby ends up being like this extremely like wealthy and influential 10-year-old who has a power against the world and like has like an agenda and like is kind of bitter about things because like this mom is gone and yeah.
Okay, but 1, wrong gender.
Yeah.
2, wrong, way off in the time period.
Right.
3, I'm pretty sure CL didn't have a stand.
Yeah, but he had a demon butler. So I think stands and demon butlers are pretty similar. Especially because like some stands are just like people that stand behind you and then like do like weird things and kill people for you.
I mean, sure, but I don't think this baby stand is quite like that.
Yeah, but like close enough.
Also, I'd like to think that this baby won't grow up to have a CL personality.
I just said that the baby's like guardian will die when she's 10, and then at that age will be able to take over this amount
Fortune,
of wealth,
yeah.
and then my mind went immediately to Black Butler.
That's fair. There is a bit of a connection there.
Flicker is back.
I always get worried whenever she's anywhere near my feet because she, for some reason, just always bites them.
Yeah, she has a tendency, if she's like randomly agitated in the moment or like just too excited, she might start scratching too.
Why do you do this, cat?
Anyway, so JoJo, we like it. It's going good so far.
Yes.
I like this baby. I like this Rohan. The rat is dead. That's a fair game. Like I wanted to like the rat, but also like it's hard to like the rat after it like repeatedly like hurts people that you like were rooting for. So,
I appreciated the rat as an adversary.
A worthy foe indeed. It'd be so funny if one of them died by a rat. That'd be really good because like they.
I fought Dio, the world conquering
Jotaro
vampire
literally.
demon, but I was killed by a rat.
Yeah, that'd be good. Didn't happen though.
Thanks to Josuke.
Mm-hmm.
Both in killing the rat and having an awesome healing stand.
Mm-hmm. So that's that. Oh, predictions for the next 4 episodes. Or the future
I feel
in
like they
general.
have to get into the big plot line soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like there can't be, because I would assume it's going to be.
We're
a
getting
decent
close
amount of
to
episodes.
halfway now.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe not in, if not in the next 4, then pretty much immediately afterwards. I feel like they'll introduce the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I expect we will see more of the characters that have been introduced that other than like the main characters, and unfortunately more Koichi fans. That's just sort of an inevitability at this point. But equally inevitable is seeing Koichi getting beating up by other stand users.
Who do you think will be next to be one of the friends to tag along? Will it be Rohan? Will it be Joseph? Will it be Yukako? Will it be what's his face, the swindler guy?
My bet will be on Rohan.
Might be Rohan. We'll have to see. My bet.
Find out next time. No, you know.
I might just spoil it. Yeah, find out next time, guys. Peace. Bye. Later.
Salamat malam.